Hey folks, Sam Loose here with Safari Pedals. I want to take a little look at the Dirty Dog Verb here. Now this is a great new plugin which has got tons of attitude, tons of aggression, and it's a really unique reverb because it matches it with two different distortion stages. So let's have a listen and then we're going to go through exactly what's available on this plugin and how you can get a great sound out of it. So first off, let's just take a listen. So this is on the snare drum and this is on a bus send and this is going into just this reverb plugin. So just on the snare, let's take a listen. Let's just solo the snare. So it's a really kind of crunchy reverb and it's unique because that crunch, there's actually two layers of crunch there. So let's take a look at the interface. We've got pre-drive, time, then pre-delay, gate, post-drive, and some filters. So let's think of this in a couple of different steps. So first of all, we've got pre-drive and post-drive, which we can turn off and we can turn on. So these two sit either side of the reverb, and the pre-drive is the distortion essentially going into the reverb. So it's driving the inputted signal and then that is going into the reverb. The post-drive is then driving the actual reverberated signal. So post-drive is actually going to overdrive the reverberated signal as well as the original signal. So you've got two different ways of doing things here. You can overdrive the original signal, the dry signal, or you can overdrive the reverberated signal, or both. That's the great thing. You can actually turn these on and off, and you can use this as just a vibe unit. If you just turn the time off, so essentially turn the reverb off, and then you can bypass it in and out, and you're going to hear the drive. So before anything's bypassed, and then. So you can use this as just like a vibe unit without it, and then so you don't actually have to just use it as a reverb. You can use it as like a grit control as well. But the way that we've got a gate in here is kind of interesting because we can put it in two different places and then a both place. So you can put it on the pre-signal, or you can put it on the post signal, or you can put it on both. So let's just try and kind of get our head around what's going on there. If you put it on the pre-signal, the gate amount, so this is going to be really gated and not very gated at all. If you bring it up, then it's going to gate the incoming signal going into the reverb. So we can take a listen to this. Or if you really want to dig down into it, turn the time off, turn the reverb off, and you'll hear just the gated input signal. As opposed to if we go to post, back to pre, then post. So two very different sounds, because when we have the gate on the pre, it's just gating the input signal. But if we have it on the post, then it's gating the overdriven signal. Here I'm driving pretty hard, so it's just kind of gating the distorted sound. And then if you have both, it's going to do a little bit of both. It's going to gate the input and the outputted signal. And then when we bring that time back in, so bring the reverb back in, we're gating it pretty hard there. We can make it much larger and still gate it. So there's so many different ways of kind of sculpting this reverb, and the gate is really useful as a utility to just get the overall kind of explosiveness of the reverb, but then not allow the tail to get too long, which is one of the kind of pitfalls of too long a reverb, is that it just gets a bit too much. You love the largeness of it, but then it just extends a bit too long. So as with a lot of reverb plugins, you've got a pre-delay here, which we can crank all the way up and get a little bit of space in between the initial hit and the reverberated sound. We'll bring it up. Getting really dirty. Just getting that delay there. And then the filters. We can darken that reverb, or we can take some lows off it. There's really so much that you can do within this plugin in terms of, it's not just a reverb, it's a grit box, a drive box, but then you can apply that grit and drive to the reverb. And not only that, you can apply it in 2 different stages, each of which sound a little bit different. So it's really a number of units within one plugin. Dirty Dog Verb is going to give you the sound of a great reverb, 4 different kind of sounds there, going from small to large, and 2 different distortion circuits, one on the input and one on the output after the reverb has taken place, and a gate just to tie everything in. Go check it out now, get your free trial, or just buy it straight away. You're not going to be disappointed. I'll see you soon. Take care.